Hi, I hope you guys are having an awesome day. It's Thursday and it's just such a beautiful day outside. I thought I'd have my garage door open and go ahead and teach how to paint this fun fox painting. Make sure my volume's all the way down here. Okay, so pretty much I have pre-drawn the design on my canvas, so it's ready to go. And if you're just hopping on and you've never seen me paint live before, if you've never heard of me before, my name is Holly Zepeda and my art business is Art Your Way. And if you'd like to paint along, I'm going to go ahead and go over all of the supplies. So I'm painting on an 11 by 14 inch canvas. You can paint on a piece of canvas paper, or if you have a different size canvas, you can do whatever works best for you. And then I've got my water over here. I've got a paper towel. I've got a baby wipe. I like to use this as my magic eraser in case if I make a mistake, I can wipe it away while my paint is still wet. And then the colors that we're going to be working with today are really fun for fall. So I've got a burnt umber. That's a brown. Go ahead and add some of that on. I've just got a piece of palette paper here that I'm going to be using. And then I've got a really fun gold. It's a metallic gold. Oh, and this is a brand new one. Let me actually grab one. I think I have one that's already open. Oh, maybe not. Okay, I'll just go ahead and open a new one. And I'm going to try to switch this over to the comments so I can see. Hey, Lori, how are you? Okay, so I've got my metallic gold. I am thinking I'll probably use a bit of orange. And these are Artist Loft brand paints from Michaels. They're acrylics. These are their level 1 paints that are great for beginners, but if you're a more advanced acrylic painter, you could always try out their level 2 paints or level 3s. I just grabbed a touch of the deep yellow, and then this is the sap green. This color I absolutely love, Burnt Sienna from Liquitex Basics. And that's going to be one we're going to use quite a bit of. I think this one has a lot of air in it. Trying to use the last of it. I'm doing good. I had some fun this morning learning a little bit about face painting, and now I get to paint live, so it's fun. Hey, Kellen, how are you? Okay, so now I'm going to grab some parchment. That's this one here, also by Liquitex Basics. It's kind of like a cream color, like an off-white. I like to use it instead of white when I'm painting animals. And then I've also got a crimson color. That's going to be kind of fun for some of the leaves for the background. So to start, I'm going to go ahead and start working on my background here. The paintbrushes that I'm going to be using today are this large mop brush. I don't know if you guys have ever used one of these before. I don't normally teach with them with my public events, but it's really fun for making backgrounds. It literally just looks like a little mop. And then I've got a flat brush. This is about a 1/2 inch. So it's smaller than what I usually teach with at my parties. I usually use an inch. But since I'm using a smaller canvas, I just grabbed the 1/2 inch. And I've got my regular large round brush and a small liner brush for the details. Hey, someone said hola amiga, and it just says Facebook user because I'm using StreamYard. If you want to just let me know who you are, then I can say hi. I'm gonna guess that it's my friend Valerie because she's the only one that says that to me. So we'll see if I'm right. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and start with the background. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab that fun mop brush. Oh, Kellen said it's Julian. Okay, Julian. Okay, my other Spanish friend. Hi, thanks for watching. Okay, so I'm just gonna dip into my green paint a bit. And to create kind of a fun, almost like a watercolor background look, I'm going to dip into my water just a little bit as well. And I'm just kind of dabbling it on my palette paper here. And I'm just going to start going around in circles, kind of randomly around the background. I'm not going to worry about painting over my fox because I'll just paint over it later. And see how it's going to almost create, it's not, I'm trying to think of the word, it's not the vignette look, but it's almost where it's like kind of the fun blotchy circles that are in the background. One of you guys probably knows the name for that. I can't remember what it's called. It's going to drive me crazy. What are you up to today, Julian? Okay, I'm going to come over here. I drew some lines over here because I'm going to put like a little bush there. So they're just going to help me to know where I'm going. Kind of pull up underneath on the edges here. Maybe even, I kind of want some spots to be a little darker. I think I'm going to go a little thicker on my paint, maybe through here and even down over here. A little more water. Kind of going off the edge here in some spots. Okay. I'm happy with that. I'm going to start adding in some yellow. So it's going to make, I'm not going to rinse my brush. I'm just going to add that yellow in, and it's going to make like a brighter green, kind of like a lime green. A little more water, a little more yellow. It's almost like, because this yellow is a deep yellow instead of a bright yellow, it's almost like a sap green. And so now I'm gonna start filling in these little spots I left open. It's just creating the idea that there's some foliage in the background, different tones of it. Still gonna leave some spots a little bit of white because I want to go in and add some gold too. I think it's gonna be really pretty that way. Kellen said, I love your platform for teaching. Oh, for StreamYard? Yeah, I've been trying to you know, figure out how to use it better. It's taken a lot of practice. And figuring out what works and what doesn't, and knowing I need to have like an hour to set up beforehand. It's been something new to learn for sure. Okay, again, not worrying about going over my fox. Now I do want to rinse my brush a little bit, and you'll notice if you ever use one of these mop brushes, they do literally soak up so much water, just like a mop. So I'm gonna go ahead and dry it after I rinse it. And now I'm gonna add some gold. Kellen said the background looks awesome. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this. And some of my paint is still a little bit wet, so it is gonna kind of blend in with the gold a little bit. I'm probably gonna have to do a couple layers of the gold to really make sure it stands out. For some reason, the metallics, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, if you've ever painted with acrylics before and you're watching, the metallics just seem thinner than some of the other colors. And so sometimes you have to layer with them a bit. But they are a lot of fun. Okay, I'm going to go in and see. I'm going to add another layer of metallic here. There we go. I just love these fun kind of round strokes. Maybe even do a bit right there. Okay, I'm gonna be okay with that for now. I might touch it up later as I go and see how things are working out. But for now, I'm okay with that. So I'm just rinsing and drying that brush. I'm gonna set it aside. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start doing my, what we call underpainting for the fox. And so to do that, I've been trying to decide, should I use this brush or this one? I think I'm gonna use my large round brush for that. And this fox, the undercoat is kind of like a light orange. And so I'm going to take this burnt sienna color and just add some of my cream tone to it. And then a touch of orange. I'm going to show you guys the color that that's making. You can see that. Isn't that pretty? And then I'm going to, I kind of want it even a little bit lighter than that. I'm going to go ahead and start filling in most of these areas here. I'm going to end up layering and adding more to it, but this is just getting that base tone down. And I'm just using short little strokes to fill in the hair. I'm going to switch, let's see, I'm going to exit out of the comments so I can see how things are going from above. Do you guys ever do that if you're filming, like you're looking like at your picture in the camera, and then you can like see it better as you're going, because it changes the perspective. It sets it far away instead of up close. I think maybe that's why it helps a little bit. I'm kind of avoiding some spots where I'm like, okay, I want to go in darker there next, and maybe there's a highlight there. I kind of pre-drew those little spots out. Gotta make more paint over here. It's so fun to like mix the colors and just play around with them. I'm going to go ahead and outline the back here. And then I'm going to start pulling my brush in shorter strokes all along the back. Just kind of trying to get the idea of where the fur is growing and flowing. Okay, let me go back to the comments just in case I'm missing anybody. Maybe there's a way that I can see the video and the comments and I just haven't figured it out. I missed kind of this edge of my canvas. I'll have to go back and paint that a bit, I think. keep trying to check and make sure I'm not missing anybody that's commenting on anything. Love to hear if you're doing something fun today or just relaxing, or if you've ever painted a fox before. They're just so cute. Just mixing away over here, some extra paint. And this area under the fox's cute little face is gonna be quite a bit darker. So I'm gonna I'm just underpainting here, and then I'm gonna end up doing some layers of white and kind of some dark black on the chest. But for now, just getting this kind of undercoat going. Oh, so let's see. Kellen said she's got a paint and sip in Connecticut, painting berry pumpkins and orange pumpkins. Oh, that's fun. I just love painting pumpkins. I could paint them like all year round. I think last year I was kind of sad when like the pumpkin painting time was over, because it's like, oh man, you just want to keep painting them. This whole area is really going to be white. Normally I wouldn't really underpaint with so much of the orange, but just want to make sure I kind of cover everything, and we'll just do lots of layers. I'm going to kind of avoid this area a little bit more because it's a little bit darker there. Just want to make sure that I don't miss where some of my shadows and highlights are going to end up being. You could also freehand this, if you felt comfortable doing that. Okay, I'm trying to decide, do I want to put any more? There's quite a bit of white in here. I'm looking, in case you guys are wondering, this is, hi Emily, how are you? This is my reference photo that I'm following. So I just got this picture off of Pixabay. And they're a copyright-free website that's great for reference photos if you're wanting to practice painting at home. Or in this case, I'm just having fun painting with you guys online. Okay, so I'm pretty content with the underpainting on that. I'm going to go ahead and rinse my brush and start working on the next tone. So now I'm going to get in and do some darker areas. So I want to kind of do what we call double loading, where I get two different colors on my paintbrush at the same time. So I just dipped into my burnt umber. It's kind of a dark brown, and I'm going to dip into my burnt sienna at the same time. And then that way I have two colors. Let's see if you guys can see. Two colors together. And then it's going to create kind of a striated look. Might be a little bit hard to see in the camera. Get a little more of the burnt umber. I'm still using that same paintbrush. I'm just going to go in here and create a dark area. I'm going to overlap with some highlighting hairs, so I'm not going to worry too much about it being absolutely perfect, but this is just a way to get the shadow tone in. Let's get even darker right here. Okay, and then it looks like there's some fun little shadows for some of these hairs that are going to be coming up over here. Let's even do some over here. And then all around the eyes here, it's a little bit dark underneath this area. So you guys have probably noticed I got my pinky out, but this area is still a little bit wet. Normally, you know, when we're painting, we use our pinky kind of like a kickstand to like balance while you're painting. As long as your paint is dry. Let's go ahead and do this other side. I loved this picture of this fox because I felt like it looked like it was smiling. I'll have to show you guys the picture. Doesn't it look like it's smiling? I think it's so cute. And you can see it's quite a bit lighter, you know, there's quite a bit of a lighter tone that's going over the top of that darker tone. So things are looking dark right now, and then we're going to move into the light. Move from dark to light. There's some little dark areas kind of up in here. And I'm just kind of looking at my reference photo here, and again, just kind of seeing, okay, where do I need to add some little dark spots? I think right here by this eye. And around the eyebrow. Same on this side. And then this has some soft little wispy spots on this cheek. Just gonna kind of pull out and see how I'm pulling my brush in the direction of the hair, that way it would grow. I'm gonna layer over here. This brush is a little big to get the kind of wispy look I'm going for, so I'll be touching up some spots here once we get into the lighter areas. So now I'm going to come over to this ear. Not afraid to just overlap and have fun with those little hairs. And a lot, of painting animals is just all these little strokes, little short strokes with the hair. Unless you're painting, a bird or a snake or, something like that. It almost reminds me of a red panda. Just looking at it, it looks like a red panda. Okay, I'm getting up underneath here where there's going to be a lot of white, tufty kind of strokes in a bit that are going to be layered. It's kind of showing the shadowed area that's underneath. Maybe there's some layers. When you look at their hair, their fur, it's kind of, I'm going to grab some water. I'm feeling like it's a little thick. When you look at their fur, there's kind of some random areas where it's got some shadows in it. Kind of going up. It's kind of showing that it grows up and around on the body. Just kind of being random with it, making sure my lines aren't absolutely perfect. Okay, I'm going to switch back over to the image, see how we're doing. Pretty content with that. I think we're about ready to kind of get into another mid-tone here. So next I'm going to go really light, almost like not quite our highlight tone, but more kind of a step under that. So this base tone that I made, I'm just going to make it a little bit lighter, like a very light orange. And anywhere where there's not pure white, I'm just going to add some in there. So right here on the nose, just pulling from where the nose is upward. And then his eyebrows, maybe this fox is middle-aged, I guess we could say. I left some areas where there's some ideas of some highlights that maybe frame the cute little face. He's so cute. I'm gonna kind of double load with some brown in here. Let's get some more of that light tone. There's almost kind of like a zigzaggy area right in here. It's going all the way down. Let's add some on this side. Double load it a bit again just to blend this out. And this is just, it's kind of looking simple so far, right? It's almost like a paint by number. And then at the end, when we add in all of our details, it's all gonna start to come together. He doesn't really have this mark. I just felt like giving that to him. I thought it would be cute. That's the fun part. You can just make it your own. Just find a way to make it special to you. That's where the creative part comes in. So this is almost looking like a highlight tone up here, not quite. And some of it even pulls down into this darker area, but we're gonna really make it look soft and wispy with a much smaller brush. This is just starting to give the idea of that kind of soft, fluffy. It's so fluffy. Soft and fluffy look. And this area is going to be a little more white, so that's why I'm kind of letting that be. Add some more to this edge here. And then let's add some in here. There's almost like a yellow tone. The orange. I'm just kind of zigzagging my brush. You could also use the flat brush to do this area. Kind of want a little more yellow. Just little spots of yellow here and there with that cream color. Let's go over here a little bit. Up here it's just getting a bit lighter before we add our highlight tones up there. Okay, let me check the comments really quick. Comments. Okay, we're still good on those. Okay, so for underpainting this white area, I did this orange, and I'm kind of looking at it and going, I kind of want to almost go in with like the way that the chest is, there's quite a bit of black in there because then the fur goes into black on their feet. And so I kind of want to grab a touch of my black. So this is just a craft paint that's a little bit thinner for the black. And I'm going to go in and just kind of start with a suggestion of some black fur in here, but I'm really going to layer over the top of it with a lot of white. But this is just going to be kind of like it's hanging out underneath. But there's still some of the brown showing through. Once we get in with our liner brush and do some more of the shorter strokes with and like more detailed lines with the white, it'll look really nice. Getting really dark up underneath here. It's coming along. Okay, let's do some underpainting with some gray. I'm going to try grabbing that cream color, make a gray tone for this area on the face here. Most of this is white. So I'm just going to kind of come in here and add some gray. It's not going to look very nice initially. It's going to be kind of like that awkward phase. I always call it the awkward teenage phase of the painting. And I'm kind of leaving some spaces where things are separated with the shadows, and that way I can see where I need to go in with my other tones here in a bit. And my black is not dry yet, so I'm kind of blending it in here. You could wait and let it dry to make sure it's all that really light gray. Add a little bit more over here. Okay. Actually, that little spot too. There's one little spot right here. You can see where the green's at. There we go. Okay, it's coming right along. This is where it's like, okay, this is, you know, is it going to come together? It's kind of that scary moment when it's like, okay, what's going to be next? It's kind of in between things. So now I'm going to start working on the eyes and the nose before I get into my highlights. So for my details with the eyes, I really like to use a small liner brush. That's this one here. And I like to dip it in my water, get into my black paint. And actually, sorry, not black. We're going to go into the brown and we'll add a touch of gold to it. So we're going to fill in the iris first. That's the colored part of the eye here. And I'm just using that burnt umber right now to fill in that colored portion. And I kind of pre-drew in my highlights so that I don't have to worry about getting them in later. I know like exactly where they're at. That's kind of the tricky part with eyes, is like if you don't have the highlight pre-drawn in, sometimes it's hard to tell where they go and exactly how they should look, and then it makes it feel like way harder than it should be. I always, since I was little, I really struggled with getting the eyes right because I felt like the eyes were never looking correct. You know, they were always kind of off. Okay, I'm going to let that dry a little bit. I'll add a little bit more gold here in a little while, but for now I'm going to get into my black and fill in the pupil and kind of Pulling up. He looks so much like a red panda right now. It's funny to me. Okay. This one's kind of pulling over a little bit. And then the other trick with the eyes is to outline with the black. There's the sclera and his tear duct. Or maybe this fox is a girl. You can decide. And I pull the little eyelashes or fur up into the rest of the eye. And then this eye is kind of coming to a point over here. Bring some of this lighter tone down. Sometimes even overlapping along the eye a bit will kind of make it look more natural. A bit more of this dark brown in here. It's almost like a gray. Just kind of lightly tapping it. Take some of this gray tone and kind of play with it on this highlight. I'll go in and put in some smaller hairs in a bit once we get the other eye in. And that's going to really help. There's also a little bit of a highlight right along the edge of the eye. I don't know what it is. That always helps things a bit to make them pop. And just look a little more alive. He's alive! Okay. Okay. We move on to the pupil over here. And then outlining the eye. Pulling some little black hairs up and around. And get a little more of that brown. Kind of that gray tone on this highlight. This area is pretty dark on him, actually. Oh, he's so cute. Okay, let's put that little highlight underneath here. Another one on that side of the eye. Even, let's see. Yeah, this one's okay. Okay, I want to add more gold. So now that it's dry, it should be able to pop a little bit more. Looking a little more alive. I feel like this highlight is a little bit big on this side. There we go. So cute. Okay. Now let's work on the nose. I'm just going to go ahead and fill in where the nostrils are with quite a bit of black. So I like to start with a little circle and then curl it up and around. This is kind of the area you can kind of zigzaggy fill it in. I'm just kind of dabbling on this edge of the nose. There's going to be a highlight here. Let's make pretty dark gray. And there's some of that up underneath the nostrils here. And even on this side, we'll add more of a highlight here in a little bit. And this bottom area is pretty dark. And it's going back into that kind of grayish tone through here. Okay, we're about ready to get into more of our highlights and then add this cute little bush in the background. Let me go to the comments again. Okay, it looks like we're still good on comments. Okay, so now I'm going to start working on the lighter white highlights before we start doing like the whiskers, and then there's some fun plants in the background that I want to add. So I'm going to start off, I feel like I should probably get more of a white than that. That cream color. So this one, I know the tube is kind of stuck. I kind of want to add some of this white to that cream color, and then that way it's not so like white, you know? There we go. That's a little bit better. So I don't know if you can see, but it's a little bit darker than a pure white, but it's lighter than that parchment color. So I just lightened it up a bit. And now I almost want to add a little bit of yellow to it just to make a fun light yellow tone. Okay, so now I'm going to come up, just kind of add some little hairs here. I'll add some even smaller ones with my smaller brush here in a bit. But this is kind of showing me that edge, making it fluffy. I'm not worried about going into my background. Now I can kind of have fun and even go, let's see, I'm going to turn my canvas a bit, even go along this edge here, really get fluffy. Fluffy. Kind of pull some of that long hair out. I need to do this bottom area really before I keep going around the face. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing some strokes down here. See how I'm just layering over the top of that black, and it's showing that there's some black tufts underneath. I'm kind of going random with it. Oh my gosh, he's looking so cute, so fluffy. I'm going a little bit lighter up underneath here because I know that that's darker. It's got more of a shadow. And now, because I have quite a bit of paint on my brush, now I can kind of do a little more down here. Painting fur is like so fun to me. It's all about layering and finding a way to just enjoy the process. So cute. Okay, I'm gonna turn this again up this way because I'm kind of starting to get a little careless with my strokes on this side. I want to make sure they still look nice and fluffy. It's so fluffy. Right here in the middle. And now I can have fun and really layer in here. Okay, move this up so you guys can see. I'm going to check my time just because I have to go get my little one from preschool here in a little bit. But we're doing good. See how I had all these spots where I could see the background through it still? Now I'm going through and just kind of filling those in a bit more. Adding some of that orangey color just for this little area in here. Going really light on my strokes so they're short and still look fluffy. Still want a little more orangey tone there. Just kind of blending some of these areas where I'd painted before and the lines were a little harsh. This is just helping it to look a little more natural. He's so cute. Okay, and then in here, we really want to get light because it's going to be white. A little more white. So just going over these little areas. This area is going to be pretty white. I'm going to get quite a bit lighter than this when I get down in here. But for now, this is just going to be a way to blend some of these spots. And I've really got to try to get in here with some more black and define the mouth better. So that's going to help too. Okay, let me check comments again. Okay. Okay, there's quite a bit of this lighter tone along the back. It's looking more and more fluffy. Okay, I'm gonna let that go for a sec. Let's get in here and define this mouth a little bit more before we get into some more of the white. He's smiling. And there's all these little like spots where the whiskers are growing out, so I'm just kind of dotting and dabbling them in there. And I'm going to kind of zigzag where the outline of his mouth is. And then right through here is the chin. Again, just kind of zigzagging. It's not perfect. And he's kind of got a little indent on his chin a little bit. And this is darker. Just short little strokes with this little brush. And then just kind of zigzagging in here where there's a little bit more. Really should be like a black brown. I'm going to mix a touch of brown in there. And on this side. There's some little shadowy areas I kind of want to add in. Trying to decide. Let's see. Let's do kind of a dark gray brown color in here. We've kind of got some going already, but just want to add a few more spots. And just kind of zigzagging my brush. It's gonna make it look kind of hairy. Over here is going to be pretty white on top of this shadowed area. Pull this up through here. Such a cute little foxy. Okay. The nose needs to be a little more filled in. More kind of gray. I kind of just got my brush wet was like a watercolor look. And some little strokes around the nose. It's still kind of wet there. Lots of little tiny strokes that go up through the fur that are kind of this dark brown color. And I could take a long time filling those in. Since we're doing this video live though, I just want to make sure we've got time for the rest. So I'm going to start filling in. I kind of liked how this brush was doing with that lighter tone actually. I'm going to dip right into my white and start adding kind of a light touch. Wish it was, kind of want it to be a brighter white than this, but that's all right. I think it'll show up here in a bit. Just want it to look nice and fluffy. Quite a bit of white kind of zigzagging down. I'm going to kind of go on the edge of wherever I did this kind of off-white tone. So now I'm going to pull from here's this way. Kind of crisscross them in here. Really go along this edge. Along the back. Love these eyebrows. I'll go along the nose a bit. Go up along this ear. Kind of want that to point a little bit more. Okay, now down in here, I really want to get a lot more white to really show that fun foxy color. So let's get up over here, just layering over the top of where I had that kind of lighter tone. And just working my way down over the top of these little areas, including right in here. I'm gonna kind of dabble in there, but I use my finger and blend. I'll have to go back in with a little bit of black, but maybe I can just wipe it a little bit. There we go. Okay, this area is pretty long. He has kind of a, doesn't really go from the eyebrow, but it comes up over the top. This other area along the neck. So I'm just gonna pull some longer hairs. And it even goes out beyond a little spot. Okay, how are we doing on time? Oh, we're good. Okay, I could keep going on and on and on with all of the little details on the hair and stuff, but we've got to get into the whiskers here, and they're actually black, so I'm just going to keep using this smaller brush. I'm actually going to add more water into my black paint and really thin it out. If you were painting at home and this was your first time doing this and you're feeling a little worried about the smaller details, you could also go in and use a permanent marker or a Posca paint pen. You know, I have had so many people that are like, oh, you know, that's cheating, but it when you're just learning, especially if you have shaky hands, it's okay. I do have some painters that come to my events. If they shake a little bit, you know, they just finding ways to and tricks to still have fun when you're painting are great. Okay, I'm just gonna start adding some whiskers here. Let's come up. He's got some coming out of his eyebrows here. So cute. Some coming up over here. And then all along this area here, he's got some that are kind of all over the place. So I'm just gonna have fun with them and put them wherever I want them to go. And then for this other side, because I like to try to mirror things nicely, I'm gonna just flip it over. Kind of change his perspective again. Add a bit more water to my black paint just so it goes a little bit further. And I'm gonna add a few really thin white whiskers up through the ears here. Just for some fun, smaller details. Let's add some more along this edge. He's so fluffy. Oh, so fluffy. And I'm just going to add a little bit more of a white in the highlights here on the eyes, just to make them pop a little more. Grab a bit of brown. I feel like I went over the top on that one. Okay, let's do a little highlight dabble on his nose. I'm just gonna double load with the white and black and just dabble right across the top here, just to make it look a little textured. A little more white right across the there. He's looking so cute. Okay, did I drip somewhere? I thought I dripped. No, I did. Get a bit of white up here where I didn't want it, so I'm just gonna wipe it with a baby wipe, and if it doesn't come off, I'll just, yeah, it looks like I just need to dabble some of my background color on there. I'm just gonna use my finger to do that. Okay, so now that he's done and the background color is done, I can kind of have fun putting in a little bush over here. So I'm gonna go in with my burnt umber and just follow these lines that I kind of pre-drew. They're just showing the idea of a little bush hanging out. It's like fall time, and there's one kind of behind here. I'm kind of putting in my own. You know, once you get into the mode, you just start to feel like, oh, I can just do my own thing now. Trying to make them look a little more bushy. We're gonna cover them with leaves anyways. Okay. Now I can have fun and make some leaves. I'm gonna check the comments really quick. See any more. If you're just hopping on, I'd love it if you say hi or tell me what you think, or even just if you've ever painted a fox before. I'm trying to look more closely. I can see it from afar on here a little bit better. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and make kind of an orangey red color and make this little plant over here. Just have some fun little leaves on it. kind of giving the idea that it's fall. Okay, I'm going to dip into my white and add it with this pretty yellow just to make it, this yellow pop a bit more. Let's add some, yeah, it's going to almost, let's see. Let's do white first and then we'll add yellow on top. I wanted that one to go that way a little bit. I'm just adding all sorts of fun little leaves. Okay, now I'm going to get into this yellow. And because I did white first, it'll help them to pop a little bit more. So fun painting these leaves. Oops, I'm a little thick on my paint right there. I'm just going to kind of twist my brush to grab that off. Okay, last but not least, let's add a little bit of green to these. Just a little bit on some of these yellow ones, I think. I'm just kind of dabbling. These are a little more cartoony, a little less realistic. But I kind of want the fox to be kind of in the forefront anyways. then I'm going to add a little bit of gold just here and there for fun. And up close when I'm doing this, I'm like, man, this is not looking best. But when I look at it over here, it's not too bad. So, all right. Think I'm going to do another layer of gold on this background with this bigger brush a little bit. But I'm feeling like that's pretty good for now. Okay, I'm gonna dip into my black paint and add my signature. I'm just gonna go down here in the corner. And that's it. So I hope you guys who stuck around, I hope that you enjoyed it and had a good time watching, or if you're just popping on and seeing it, I hope that you love it. I'm pretty happy with it, especially for doing it within just a little bit of time. I can see like a few little things that I would want to touch up on it, but overall it's a pretty cute little fox. So if you are interested in learning more about how to paint animals, I do have a membership. It's called Paint Party Animal, and I do have it open right now. So I'm giving everybody an option to do a 30-day free trial if you want to see what we do. This is one of the things we do. We learn about painting animals more realistically, but I also offer monthly designs that are great for teaching paint parties and earning money with paint parties. But learning how to paint more realistically like this can also help with doing pet portraits or commission work. And so if you're interested, I just have this sign here. You can go to my website. It's artyourway.org. And then there's a link on my website that says Paint Party Animal Membership, and it'll give you all the details and how to sign up. So thank you so much for watching. Again, another thing I wanted to share is I do have an online event coming up where you can join me while I paint this little guy live. Gal, cute little kitty with this pumpkin. This is more of a paint party design. So with paint party designs, they are a little more cutesy. There's something that I could usually finish in an hour, but teaching would take 2 hours. And so I like to offer them in person or online. And then something like this, what I painted today, show you guys, so cute. This would be more of a realistic version of something that you might see offered for like a commission. So it is great practice for learning how to do commission work. I'm just softening some of these. When I held it up, you know, that artist in me, I'm like, oh, I got to change that. So anyways, if you're interested in going to that, just go to my events on my Facebook page. It's Art Your Way, and you should see this little guy. It's a free online event, and I'm going to be giving away prizes. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And just to give an idea of some of the designs that we have in the membership, this is the design I came out with for the month of October, and I just finished a new design for November, so I'm really excited to release that. And then you can use those designs to paint, teach, and earn money with paint parties just like I do. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and if you're catching this replay later, I'd love to see your comments and just hear what you think, or if you end up painting along, I'd love to see your painting as well. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Talk to you later. Bye.